Short Rest with Fonzi and Carlo.
We are recording.
Was singing ages as ibigay nyo na ang aming Christmas bonus. And yeah, sorry. This is always included.
Yeah, Christmas bonus. Yeah, sana all.
Yeah, I guess as an entrepreneur, no? Anyway. Hey, Fonzie, what's up?
Hey, man.
It's time for a short rest.
It is. After a long year of pumping out 21 episodes this year. Yeah.
Yep. That was that's a lot of encounters, a lot of ano rin. I think we've managed to build some sort of community na, which eventually turned into the tabletop TITOS, and I think we're starting to gain a lot of people have been engaging with us in those respective groups. Yep. Our memes have been share worthy so far.
Memes our memes are no longer dreams. We have received some engagement. So shout out sa inyo, the Dungeons and Dragons community of the Philippines, also the Adventures League from Manila and Philippines, and also from Davao City for supporting us and our players and our games. This year has been a lot in terms of games. We've run a lot of games this year that delved into Adventures League, and also managed to create some spur of the moment parang homebrews that we were able to do, and also a lot and your homebrew and my homebrew. Your homebrew, by the way, still doesn't have a title, so still working on that.
This is Carlos homebrew.
All right, so and also we've inspired another homebrew that is coming soon, maybe after Barrio Alonso, which is quickly coming to that point of transitioning from Barrio Alonso 1. I feel like season 1 has ended per last episode quite epically. I think that was a very epic way to cap off the first part of the adventure. Now there's some things that needs to be concluded, I guess, for that chapter to end. And we played a lot of Adventures League games also, some recorded, some not. And we've managed
that epic was epic.
And we joined an epic, so that was fun.
For the first time for me and Luke and Nico. So that's how an epic is. I should probably not drink a lot when in an epic. But it's online.
Yeah.
So really, I think, Fonzie, since we're transitioning to a new year, to a hopefully less shittier year, I think it's an excellent opportunity for us to look back, evaluate what worked and what didn't work.
Fuck that.
But really, just look back and be grateful for what we're able to bring into the community and what the community has given us. But yeah, before we go to the short rest highlights episode, let's do a little check-in. Let's roll some hit dice.
Sure.
How are you doing, Fonzie?
I'm doing well. I've been physically, I've been really fatigued, tired past few days. So I've been listening to my body and just resting more and not exercising, because I've been going at it hard because of these past few weeks. So I decided to kind of take a step back and parang occasional ride out, tapos take a rest, tapos eat when I want to, alam mo yun, just to get my energy back up. Feeling ko kasi parang medyo napagod ako. Just fatigue, training every day, parang ganun. So parang I wanted to take a step back and just focus on just recovering.
Recovery is part of training. Yeah.
It is. And work-wise, it's been a lot of parang design and branding work, which can be very can be very
Can be
trying.
very taxing too. Dare I say, kasi
Repeatedly. Yeah.
that's original work branding diba? So,
Yeah, but thank God that there are like our online tools that are readily available that make my work a lot easier. Like shout out to Canva. I love you. So thank you for your ano.
Canva.
It's so easy to design things on the fly. Like if you needed to come up with content right away and design things, you don't really need to process through yung alam mo yung mga designer. Yung ginagawa namin ngayon kasi like for each brand, for this particular brand is meron akong isang parang design template tapos nandun na sa first page ko is the designated font, so parang may brand bible na siya, so I know what to follow.
So just follow that na lang.
So it's easy. So nandun na lahat ng mga content themes, like yung mga quotations, like similar to what Ben Francia is doing with his social media. Parang meron talaga siyang may templates na. So that's what we do. That is has been parang a lifesaver for me. Parang dati kasi parang kailangan mo pa like when I was working at an agency, not that agencies are ineffective, pero alam mo yung dati na parang you need to submit concept to art department. Tapos art department gets back with you with drafts and stuff. Tapos we submit to client for comments and revisions. And then revisions come back. Alam mo yun, that is a very tedious process that could take weeks, if not like a month of pre-approving posts that are no longer relevant after 1 month.
Yeah, tell me about that shit, man.
So parang nakakapagod. So I'm happy that this company, shout out to Relationship Hero, has given me a lot of trust in terms of kasi wala na akong pre-approval. I just post right away.
Just do it, whatever. Just do it.
So,
we trust you.
Grabe yung trust talaga nila sa akin in terms of like content, and every idea that I have or we have, parang go na agad. So parang ideally it was scary to start the year kasi as the pandemic was going, my initial business of coaching and all the things that we've lined up for the year parang kind of watered down because of the restrictions, and all the companies that had parang agreed to mag-training tapos to pursue parang exploratory stuff like that, parang na-pause. And alam mo yun, parang medyo scary at the start of the year, parang what do I do? Tapos and I'm glad that we have skills parang skills na in social media and things that I can do to work from home that allowed us still the opportunity to find work in this crazy year. It's just been crazy, to say the least.
Help us to help support your life, our lifestyle, no?
And D&D has been instrumental, if I say that, in terms of like balancing out the stress and being able to creatively pursue something. That's why parang grabe din yung aking parang I've never the last time I felt like creatively inspired was in college when I was still writing. So yun yung last time na parang ngayon kasi na parang wow, parang I could work on something. I just sometimes I write I write a lot now. So which is fun because just to be able to go back to that and kind of distract yourself from the craziness that's going on in the world.
From last season ni Barrio Alonso, ilang words yun?
Over 10,000, I think.
That's over 10,000 fucking words, man.
Yeah. Kasi that was a lot of prep because you've had 3 options, right? Yung frontal assault, yung side assault, and then
the stealth one.
So I created stuff for everything. So very full yung episode nun kung if you chose either or. So that was essentially preparing for 3 games, kumbaga. But it's fun kasi I feel like the template is there. So if I want to like translate that into like a POA, yung Plague of Ancients na dungeon craft, parang konting revisions na lang, konting rewrites na lang for characters and situations and stuff. Pwede na siya maging tier 2 infiltration mode.
That's actually a good and I think just a week ago I think you ran you had the live stream of your homebrew you had a live stream of creating a homebrew campaign, right?
Yeah.
So that's actually something that you can that can be or that's something that you can do for another live stream idea. Just have how walk people through the whole dungeon tools. What was that from Adventures League? Yeah, dungeon craft. Maybe you could help. Yeah, because I need that. I want to know how to do that.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure how. Yeah.
23, maybe this week, maybe next week. We'll see.
Thanks. Yeah.
Anyway, sorry that was a little bit long, but
it's fine. This is we're rolling for hit dice for the entire year.
So I finished all my hit dice, I guess.
Can I level up the?
No, you need a long rest.
We need a long rest. Anyway.
All right. So, would you like to roll your hit dice?
Yeah. This past week has been relatively busy because it's a pandemic and we kind of need to pull a lot of our weight around just para we just cover our bases and stuff. It's been a very long week for me at least because I've been very busy. But other than that, it's been relatively I can't say it's light. But I'm given my brief moments of respite throughout the past few days. So that's been it's been great. It's really just about it for this week. If I'm going to look back at the entire year, to roll hit dice at the entire year, just like everyone in this affected by this pandemic, I had a lot of plans lined up for this year. I planned to initially, syempre, do my third Ironman in Davao. That didn't come to fruition. Instead, I gained weight, so I guess I wanted something. And then I also initially planned to travel to Japan this year, but I guess that's not happening. Instead, I traveled to Barrio Alonso and to and to that other homebrew I'm making.
Yeah. Seat sale in Japan,
huh?
BP Dubs.
Wait for next year.
Yeah, March 2021.
Yeah. Anyway, sa 2021, I don't know if papayagan tayo ng Japan to go there.
Nope.
But yeah, it's been a rough year. A lot of stuff that I planned didn't go as didn't happen, which is I'm chill with it because number one, I got a little bit real with myself this year in terms of Carlo, what is it that you want to do? Are you doing this thing because your other friends are just doing it? Does it really make you happy? Or does it feel like a chore when you do it? I'm not saying that things that I did in the past were chores, pero alam mo yun, parang I'd like to do it because I'm happy to do it, not just because my friends are tell me so.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I got real it got real for me this year because I finally learned that it's not about though that it's just building a really good habit or building a habit is the secret to really
Mm-hmm.
achieving a certain goal. And it's always a struggle, like whenever I try to I'll speak for myself. Whenever I try to wake up to do some circuits or spin or take a walk outside, it's can be challenging at first, pero once you've gotten a routine up, it's okay na. This specific week then, since I just came from a fever 2 weeks ago, not naman fever, pero more like an allergic reaction to something that somehow never went away and is still noticeable from my voice. na I don't know, it's probably rhinitis. Pero it's ano eh, um, I decided then to take a quick break. Not listen to my body because my body is very deceitful. It keeps telling me to eat things. And I say, no, shut up, listen to me. We'll eat when it's scheduled. Pero yeah, ayun, it's been it's been a very it's been a very weird year for me this year, physically, emotionally. Mentally, I'm starting to develop that kind of attitude to that I can I'm in control and I can build this habit. And I guess one more thing that that I have to say, at least for D&D, in times when I feel really creatively drained in terms of the ideas for my videos, for instance, because in Carlo Geeks Out, I just do let's plays, I do comments, this and that. But it feels so I feel so dependent on the content of the video game. But when it comes to my D&D campaign, I feel like while it's inspired by many other campaigns, I feel like this is mine. Particularly for my homebrew content. Even in the characters, this is my character. It's based off of one character, but I'm the one playing it. So, it inspires me to be a little more creative, to actually get my brain to work. How would this certain character act? How would certain characters act given a specific situation? I'm referring to my NPCs, diba? And it actually got me to it actually got me back into the idea of world building, like literally from the grassroots level, how a certain society or how a certain civilization built itself up from the ground up. That's where the continent of Aberdeen came from my homebrew. So parang what I realized is that it's easier to come up with with stories that surround these people on the fly if you have a basis na on what they do, right? So parang on the north there's sort of some sort of Game of Thrones thing that they're trying to protect things na that they're trying to protect the rest of the continent from anything from the frozen wasteland. And to the south nandun yung parang cultural center of trade and stuff to other worlds in to other realms, so to other places and mundos. So yeah, it's that's really been a creative outlet for me, and I feel very I feel less stressed for that. Yeah, even though it go ahead.
Like I feel like we've written more in our created more in our pandemic stay than previously.
Yeah, we've tried to be regular with our for the past 2 years, I think.
Yeah.
Diba?
And just to continue, parang homebrews allow, or at least speaking for myself, allowed me a better perspective of planning out hardcovers in a way that it gives me more, alam mo yun, parang elements of what would make a good session. Alam mo yun. Tapos in terms of like longevity and planning out the phasing of the sessions, parang it gives me a lot of parang release na hindi naman ko masyado ma-pressure na parang every session has to hit certain notes. Alam mo yun?
Yeah.
Parang it's just dependent on the story and or where the characters are and what they do. And yeah, it's good. It's a good it's a good learning moment for me, parang okay, this is probably what I can do for, different hardcovers and all the questions that I used to have in terms of like running hardcovers and where do I go and or what does the party do? Parang a lot of that has been answered by this method of planning a campaign. Na what's beneficial for hardcovers kasi more or less it's just planned out for you. Everything is written down. So it just depends on how you now manage the group in that sense and take them through those phases of the story that they need to go through, which is cool. It's really cool.
I wonder sometimes how like our players we speak as GMs when we are also players in each other's tables. I wonder how they would how they feel like every time we anyway. anytime we or anytime we create something na they don't really expect. Anyway, sorry. What were we supposed to talk about today, Fonzie? I guess that wraps up our hit die rolling.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were just talking about like how's the year in terms
Yeah.
of D&D, like what are our highlights for the year,
Yeah.
and maybe like what do we look forward to next year as we're wrapping up 2020.
Yeah, I guess I'll ask you, Fonzie, what's your favorite episode that we made this past year?
For short rest,
Mm-mm.
ano ba? Well, there has been a lot, but I feel like the most impactful one for me was having Miles over.
Ah, crap. I was gonna say.
Uh,
Yeah.
so having Miles over, one of the parang fun din to have our guests, especially when we have guests. It's
Yeah.
always interesting for me to to interview interview someone, pick their brain. Parang that's
Mm.
really something that I enjoy, um, and having a conversation with them about things that they're interested in. And
What inspired them?
yeah, and ngayon din kasi like in this pandemic, parang na-notice ko din like meaningful conversations are a lot more meaningful for me
Mm.
because you don't get that same social interaction as you would normally na parang in an everyday sense you go out and have these choices of having conversations with these people, whereas now parang you are expected to not talk to strangers because it's stupid.
Mm.
So parang or not to engage at the very least, not to anyone else, parang
Yeah.
which is parang status quo for me kasi that's how
Mm.
I am. I don't necessarily, I'm not really the talkative type, but alam mo yun, now that I see people that I know and have a chance to engage with them, I feel more, alam mo yun, parang more connected, more parang invested
Mhm.
sa kanila whenever
Yeah.
I converse
Talk.
with them in
Mhm.
IRL. Or just
Yeah.
being with other people, that it's weird parang having that space now and this time na parang look, parang why is everybody living the life I used to live, alam mo yun, parang isolated and not
I
talking to
used to do it
anyone.
when it was cool.
Alam mo yun, parang I don't go out because I don't like being out with strangers. I don't like going to parang very crowded places because I can't breathe, alam mo yun, parang these are things that I used to do. Alam mo, normal naman to sa akin.
Mm.
Parang
There's
ano,
nothing new about this normal at all.
yeah, I don't like touching people. Alam mo yun, kung mag-commute man ako, I don't like the feeling of other people touching me.
Mm.
I'm very conscious of my personal space. Ano yun, it's just who I am. This is my normal. What are you talking about?
Yeah. What's new? Anyway, maybe the reason why it's more meaningful is yun nga, parang whenever you meet these people IRL, di ba? To not just to converse, siguro there's something urgent that you need to discuss or bring to them, or they're accompanying something to you. I think it's really more also because of the fact that you're exposing yourself to a modicum of risk, na parang and that person as well is exposing him or herself to a modicum of risk to catch something, even though so that's why maybe it's meaningful. But again, this pandemic has been a lot.
Yeah, and one of the things that kasi like last year I was running a lot of games IRL.
Yeah.
And that was sort of me parang pushing myself to be more outgoing, to be more social, and to train myself, in kasi coaching path ako, right, and training path. So I wanted to be more comfortable with other people and strangers and dealing with personalities and stuff like that. So for me, like running games with strangers, with people whom I don't know, is excellent training ground.
Yeah.
So that's why I started
yeah.
to run games regularly. Like I used to run 2-3 games a week with IRL. At the most na yun, yung peak ko na yun, peak DMing ko na yun. So so that has given me a lot of confidence in terms of like managing personalities, managing and getting the feel of the table, alam mo yun. and being more yan na rin yung parang aking social exercise kasi my work tends to be really
Social.
isolated. Sometimes most of the time no parang the work has medyo one-on-one kasi coaching nga, so one-on-one, so wala masyado group dynamic or unless there's like a group session or something like that. So yeah, that's really helpful for this year naman. Para I'm glad that we were able to still pursue games, although marami tayong na-try in terms of like different platforms, quote unquote. Kasi I was trying different platforms like Roll20, although nag-Roll20 na ako, but in terms of DMing, Roll20, other platforms like Foundry, and just Discord only games, and hey, Theater of the Mind, I can do it now. So
Theater of the Mind is cool.
Yeah,
it's much easier. Yeah, but I guess in terms of really like in terms of like boss fights, BBG fights, yeah, that's where you have to prep talaga yung battle map, I guess. Pero for relatively easy to normal fights, I think okay na yung yung Theater of the Mind.
Yeah, and like in terms of content, mas maganda kung may map kasi para mas engage yung mga tao. Kasi may map so you can see it in terms of like the videos na we're watching kasi we've been recording a lot of our games. Napansin ko that the camera angles was a lot more, parang feeling ko mas engaging siya kasi makita na tayo yung minis and stuff like that. So I might do that more, less virtual things. So
yung map na ginawa mo yung real life. Yeah, those are more parang, it's also yung Easter eggs that are outside of the map. Oh, he owns a Stabilo highlighter.
I do.
I'll be like for next year, I'll be implementing a lot of Jamboard into the mix, particularly for battle maps, or if I want to illustrate something, it's much easier. Yeah. And you don't get to see the creature stats whenever I roll for something. Discord is in another in another window. So that's safe, I hope.
Yeah, Discord is great. I wish we could record games on Discord, but it's hard to do. Zoom kasi it's just easier. But one of the things you said that I really liked about Discord was just how you're able to integrate music into the game. But now that's not a problem with the Spotify group sessions thing.
Yeah. So, I wish they put more members into that thing kasi hanggang 5 lang talaga eh. Everyone would if everyone could just listen to it. But it's really great.
Yeah, I agree. I really agree.
Whenever wow, this thing slaps. I'm putting it on my playlist now. So yeah.
And gone are the days din kasi before parang I used to go through, kung nakita niyo lang yung Spotify most played ko or yung mga genres that are most played are more cinematic instrumentals and instrumental soundtracks coming from really like popular movies like Lord of the Rings, games as well like The Witcher and Assassin's Creed, anything Hans Zimmer. So medyo dun naka-lean towards yung music ko. Now parang I got into that same part of the prep din that I listen to or look for or scout for potential music that I could use for the game that would give a different flavor. So minsan nga when I write, I have these parang I just play this music tapos based lang kung ano yung nafe-feel or ano yung alam mo yan, ano yung color ng music, anong binibigay niya, na-influence din yung parang how I flow with what I write. So it's fun.
So like do you have music playing when you write or?
I do sometimes, no? I do sometimes. And most of the time I do. Kasi sometimes I write, alam mo parang may isip ako na parang okay, I have to write this down somewhere, so I go to my laptop or I write it on my phone or anywhere that I am. Parang minsan nasa kotse ako tapos I just park tapos I write, parang ganun, I write it down. Parang it just comes sometimes din kasi like depende kung ano kasi it's just there, it percolates in my brain. I don't force myself to write but I just let it ano yun, parang ano kayong gagawin ni ano? So whenever I face that kind of like plot, parang problema sa plot or parang may confusion of okay, what do I do? What does this character do? I don't force an answer. I just let it steep and think about it. So the answer will come
Yeah.
to me.
Yeah.
Ang mahirap lang,
Special. Mm-hmm.
yeah, and I was just going to ask you like if you had the same experience in terms of like you decide on a certain path tapos something comes to you tapos do I deviate from my original plan or do I stick to this? Seems like a cool
Well,
idea.
yes. That's happened a lot in my homebrew, to be honest. Like a lot of how should I say this? There's very little tracks for you to go on, literally. Like, even though I bluntly presented to you na, you guys need to go here. Nope, you go somewhere else. So, alam mo yun, I go with the flow. It keeps my mind on its feet. It's an excellent exercise for spontaneity. And I think that's what every DM should especially for a DM like me who's very on the tracks that you need to follow these tracks in order to progress the story. That's something that every DM should develop yung pagiging spontaneous. So I'll be really honest with you now. More than half of the characters' names in that homebrew, I just made it up on the spot. and now I have to review every episode just to find out what their names are.
I can help you with that. I like to review games kasi.
Just you said this in episode 1 time marker anyway. Pero yeah, since we're talking about our favorite episodes and what's helped us in our D&D journey this year. I think that episodes that talk about how to that can help people in their immersion, how to prepare for a campaign, handling your player characters as a DM and vice versa. Those are among my favorite episodes, mostly because while short rest's purpose is not necessarily to be a giver of advice to dungeon masters or the player characters. It makes me feel good that I'm putting out helpful content. Quote unquote. Yeah, the original content of this channel is just to talk about D&D and nothing more, diba? Pero if we're going to help people along the way, that's a bonus for me. And I like the idea that we're able to provide good information while just being really, apparently the voices of reason or relaxation for the likes of Nico or Luke whenever they drive or something. So, alam mo yun, that's definitely a bonus for me. And that's that at least that's for me, that's for my for my favorites, favorite episodes for
I agree.
Of Short Rest.
I agree. I agree so much. That was fun also, like to record things that are. It's weird din kasi like now that you have a podcast that suddenly you get to have parang opinions on certain things. So parang okay, I'm an expert now. I have a podcast. Damn it.
I don't think...
but it's important din kasi like for us just to be able to express our ideas and how we see certain things because they're valid. How you experience DMing in terms of like us as a relatively new-ish DMs, alam mo yan?
Yeah.
And we're still learning, still growing in this parang world. It's still good to meet people where they are, alam mo yan? Because some of the content that can be consumed by other people can be a lot parang alam mo yan, parang highfalutin, highbrow na parang mahirap intindihin. Like even for me na parang holy shit, like paano man to yan? How am I supposed to handle this? So relatability is something that we were parang going for kasi parang alam mo yan, we didn't want to be too deep into the nerds, alam mo yan.
I don't think we quote unquote positioned ourselves as experts in this podcast. We We just wanted to talk about the topics that we talk about. Alam mo yun? So how do you do it? Yeah.
Stuff like
We,
that.
we never know. We never told anyone we were experts.
Mhm.
We may or may have told a few people that we are. Nah, joke lang. we never claim to be. We're just a bunch of we're just two dudes trying to talk about D&D in the Philippines.
Yeah.
Who apparently have following a Spotify following in the US. Strange.
Strange. Weird. You guys are weird. And there are not a lot of ano din kasi like not well, there are a lot of like D&D podcasts available, but nothing too local, parang konti pa lang who are really talking about it in a more popular, alam mo yun, pop culture sense. A lot of people are still ano mo yun, parang clueless about the game, although parang they have many misconceptions about it. And a lot of people then who are interested are coming out of the woodwork and parang I want to play. Tapos I have some people na parang, you play pala. Ganun. Yeah, I do. Tapos may yung pastor parang kuya ko is from Cagayan de Oro. He watches the YouTubes
of
the homebrew.
Nice.
He enjoys Dungeons and Dragons. He plays it. So parang he watches the Ghost of Barry Alonso.
Oh no. And this pastor,
Yeah,
does he not know that joke lang? Does he not know that D&D is a game of the joke?
Satanic Panic.
The 80s Satanic Panic. I wasn't alive back then, but I'd like to say good times.
Good times, bro. Yeah, understandable. Dami din kasing ano eh. But anyway, like anything with dragons din kasi for our religion is a big no-no.
Yes,
like
always associated to the big S.
Yeah. So parang
pero
sa aming religion, we purge all figures that may dragon or whatever, and so we can't have that in the house kasi they're believed to have some foothold now of which is parang okay. Parang that's something that I could like, okay, we won't have dragon figurines then, Mom. That's okay.
Pero
every time like I show her a comic book na parang may dragon sa siya, parang oh god. Don't show that to your
that
lola.
The lizard? Kill it.
Yeah,
show that to lola.
My lola used to have these large vases parang that are parang mga 5 feet tall vases that are may mga Chinese depictions of ancient dragons and stuff like
Chinese
that.
Dragons.
So a priest came by one day to our house tapos to just see what needed to be purged. Tapos he identified, that needs to be purged. Tapos my lola was saying, can we at least sell it? No, you need to purge it. So parang inutusan niya yung isang boy tapos after an afternoon of smashing these expensive large Chinese vases. Parang whoa. Okay. Can I try?
Those are expensive too, man. They're 5 feet tall. Holy shit.
Oh, yeah. Dude. Alam mo yan, parang, what are these for? Anyway, alam mo yan, parang weird, parang just to have them around the house. But old houses used to have that. Maraming ganun. Yeah, and
I mean, yung Notre Dame, di ba? They have images of quote-unquote on top of the on the roofs of the Notre Dame. Pero I guess those are supposed to symbolize angels. Pero
is that why they burned it down? I don't know.
That was an accident when it got lit.
Sure.
Or was it?
Bro? On the next episode of Mario Alonso.
Are we going to France?
You can if you want. Anything you want.
Nothing is impossible now.
Dude, you're in Spanish colonization, the Philippines. You can do anything you want. You don't even know which island you're on.
Actually, we don't.
Haven't asked.
I think didn't you mention anyway? I was going to say something about dragons, and their common depiction, like from around the world, and in a literary sense, dragons are anything that represent something that is powerful and important. Parang just a few hundred or a few thousand years ago lang na associate yung dragon to something reptilian with wings, four legs, or yung parang alam mo yun, na parang serpent siya. Pero dragons can essentially be anything. Like even yung parang sea dragon, I forgot what it's called. It doesn't look anything at all like yung when you think about a dragon or what it is. Like it's this parang turtle-like being. It's a turtle. So parang that's ang tawag mo dun sa dragon na yun.
Dragon turtle?
Yeah, dragon turtle. But alam mo yun, it's a fucking turtle. It's not a dragon. Pero yun nga, in a literary sense, dragons are supposed to represent something that's important and very powerful. They can be good, they can be evil. Depends on the I don't know, on the person, religious or not, who is witnessing it or viewing it or reading about it, I suppose. Yeah. Pero that's something I got from a YouTube channel. I forgot what it's called. Sarcastic. I forgot what it's called. So yeah, it's an awesome, and they're awesome at giving me inspiration for some of my monsters. Totally sarcastic productions. Ayun. Anyway, what were we talking about? The Satanic Panic? The Satanic Panic.
Well,
yeah.
Yeah, I think the only thing that is, alam mo, parang misconstrued din kasi sa Dungeons and Dragons is that it's a work of fiction, but parang the things that we bring to life kasi are also attached to it. Alam mo yan. Just as long as you're, as long as you're parang more keen to, alam mo yan, just being aware of what you're doing. And this is a game, by the way. Alam mo yan, there's not really a Raven Queen or something like that.
There's no ritual that requires you to offer up blood.
But yeah, it's a game. Alam mo yan, parang just as long as you're aware of that and you're doing it to, alam mo yan, parang create brotherhood and fellowship and stuff like that, and pursuing. I think the greater themes there is just that making sure that you're still pursuing the same values that Christians would pursue, like that you are fighting for the greater good of mankind, fighting evil and stuff like that.
You're helping people even at the price.
Even at the price.
I mean, it's at the end of the day, like you can still follow your and I can't believe we're talking about this in a setting that we shouldn't. I don't know, should we be talking about this? Like, you can still be religious and play Dungeons and Dragons, diba? You're not killing anyone. Anyway, I think we've digressed really well. What were we talking about again?
Year in review. Like, let me ask you this: like, what's your favorite game? Like so far, like what's moment of D&D moment that you had this year that is kind of like, oh, that was cool?
I think one of mine would be something from Barrio din. And I forgot his name, sorry man, pero the reason why I remember this is because it's such an epic moment and I feel like we've earned it. Remember when that character from Barrio Alonso picked up a sword and his bolo, put on his armor, and Berto. Yeah, I remember that. I remember that part very distinctly. I'm like, whoa, we are reaching and parang, and I'm being totally honest, we are reaching critical role levels of hype. And then you ended the episode there. I'm like, fuck, I didn't think we could reach this. It was at this point that I decided I need to step up my homebrew game. I need to make it as exciting as that. If not, just at least make it very, very cool in terms of combat, in terms of the people that they meet, or at least make the players have fun. So it was after that specific moment na talaga that's time to level up a notch. So yun, that's one of the moments that I remember talaga that stuck with me as a player. As a DM, there isn't really anything that I mean, I'm always grateful that people still play my games. Pero
you want to think about it?
Yeah, I want to think about it. How about you? As a
Ako,
player and as a DM.
As a player, like on tabletop Titos, I enjoy playing Quack a lot. So,
God damn.
so every
Yeah, that is a memorable character from
parang one of the games that I really enjoyed was, I think, ano siya, was it White Plume? I don't remember. But it was it was one of the mods na parang Quack was engaged with telepathically. Tapos I think you were the DM. I don't remember, but I think you were the DM.
I think this is White Plume. Okay, go on.
Tapos he was engaged with telepathically. Tapos he was able to, converse in a very intellectual manner.
Very intellectual. Yeah, I remember this. This is whoa. This is the depth of character that Quack has that no one else except me and him knows.
Parang,
excuse me, good sir.
kasi pala yung kanyang parang, but on the exterior, all you hear is Quack.
This is just Quack.
Parang that was Quack kasi for me is not naman inspired, no, but it kind of gives a little bit of parang a nod to, alam mo yung mga yung autism, people with autism,
yeah,
that are misconstrued, na parang alam mo yung parang on the outside na parang buwang
there's something
pero inside alam mo yun, parang how they see the world and how they interact with the world is just different to what we understand. No, yun pala parang inside, no, parang we see Quack from the outside, just a parang goofy looking bird that says Quack a lot, but on the inside
and has daggers.
Ano mo yun, parang grabe pala siya ka-intellectual.
Yeah. That bird is smart. Do not underestimate it.
Yeah, high-end bird. High-end bird. So that was really
bird.
And patagal ko na yung plano actually, and never got the chance kasi parang wala masyadong telepathic RP moments si Quack growing up, alam mo.
There are very few ang tawag mo doon. There are very few instances for that or mods that have that, I guess, that I know of. It only doon lang sa White Plume Mountain yung alam ko. And you were talking with was it the Sphinx? What's that? Sa White Plume?
Maybe. I'm not sure.
Ginawa akong game show host anyway. Yeah. As a DM,
that was fun. As a DM, I think when I introduced the idea of it was with Barry Alonso, tapos the idea of tier wreaking havoc to other worlds and really challenging the belief system of alam mo parang the players, parang sila parang gusto ko yun na parang gusto ko yun na moment na I haven't really I didn't write it down, but I had an idea of what I wanted to present. Nabuti na lang more or less it came off okay. Parang how I delivered it was okay. So yung moment
was that
parang, what?
I wanted to ask about that, sorry, if I may lang.
Yeah,
was that a moment for was that the impetus and para lang legit na maging Oathbreaker si
wasn't built for that kasi yun talaga yung general idea of like of the
world
of the worlds colliding.
Yeah.
Ganun. So I parang konting adjustment na lang kay kasi I looked into tier din kasi like kung sino yung god ni Luke. And I looked into him na parang okay, so tier is this parang justice, tapos he's missing an eye na parang an eye, tapos he's parang main. So he's the main, parang main god or something like that. Okay, so asan niya nakuha? Sino nag-name sa kanya? So I started to look for lore. So ano yung nangyari, like battle-wise. So it was when, that context. So it's a very rich story there. So nag-decide na lang din ako na parang okay, so that might be a good point din for Luke. Kasi gusto niya din talaga mag-oathbreak. Kasi PPM siya sa akin na pwede ba na bigyan mo ako ng opportunity na magpatay ako ng innocent to save a life, tapos that's where I become an oathbreaker. Tapos I say no, well, keep an open mind. Para opportunities will be presented to you that alam mo yun, your character should be able to be pushed to that level of alam mo yun, for decision
breaking an oath. Diba? As a paladin, that's that's not that's like a doctor it's like a doctor breaking an Hippocratic oath and just killing people.
Yeah. Sa sense naman ng ano, I didn't want to spoon feed him that opportunity na alam mo yun, it had to be parang pivotal sa kanyang character growth and parang kanyang choice in terms of like okay, na this is the thing that I realize now. What do I do? So my choice pa rin siya. Like I didn't want to put him in a situation na parang alam mo yung forced move ka. You're forced to so he could have stayed or alam mo yun, parang
faithful to it.
Faithful to Tyr if he wants, or he could choose to challenge
Break
the
his
belief
oath.
and break his
Yeah.
oath and to investigate what this means.
If that's the case, and this is something lore wise, I'm not sure how you would answer it, or if you should, kasi it might go into spoiler territory. Not sure. Kasi I'm going to refer to one example, si Archon. He's an Oathbreaker paladin, barbarian subtype. Pero parang he broke his oath to whom exactly? Sino yung kalaban ni Tiamat? Bahamut, yeah. Did he break his oath kay Bahamut and become a follower of of Tiamat? And if that's the case, if yung character ni Luke broke his oath kay Tyr, is he following another? Like, where does he get his anti-divine powers? So parang you don't have to answer that question. It's just something na I thought na parang, oh, wow. So if
like story-wise hindi niya pa nakuha, but there are certain elements that are at play now that are circulating around what's going on in terms of like his divine source of power. So that's definitely something that's going on internally. It's not out in the open yet, but
okay. So torn pa lang siya.
I feel like there have been remember that perception checks or those wisdom saving throws that I asked you. You weren't the only one that I sent those messages
asked for those.
So,
I see.
So parang may nangyayari with him that is parang si Luke din kasi hasn't really explored that in terms of RP. Like he could maybe like in the next sessions or the sessions to come to be able to come into grips with that, but I won't hindi ko siya i-enforce sa kanya if he doesn't want to explore that as a character, but he can if he wants to. Like that's totally his choice. Like he is actually actively looking for so sino na yung pwede ko i-worship ngayon that is evil. So I said to him na parang, well, you haven't really changed alignment yet. Kasi you just broke your oath, but you haven't changed alignment yet. So, you can still be an oath breaker, but still maintain your alignment. Kasi walang nangyari naman for him to justify...
To become evil.
To become evil. And and he reads too much into sometimes we read too much into the text na parang we have to be... Kasi it says din into the text na
you
has
have to be an evil.
Well, evil din kasi subjective to where he is. Kasi in Forgotten Realms, Tyr is perceived to be good. But here, he's the destroyer of worlds. So
justice at all costs. That's unreasonably evil.
In the context of alam mo yun, Japan or the Great World Wars, no, parang if you were living in Japan, you see US as evil.
The other side is evil. Yeah, so,
it's depende lang din like that. So he might be worshiping or aligned to a god that can be perceived as evil, but not necessarily enough to change his internal alignment in the context of the Forgotten Realms.
Yeah. Guess we'll see as the story unfolds.
Yeah, depende lang sa kanya, like where he wants to take this journey. That's up to him, kasi it's really just about his RP and how he RPs this. Yung RP niya into changing alignment was more of a mental decision din kasi parang because he doesn't support the the decision of or the path of tear or the truth that has been perceived sa kanya. So I will choose to parang break my oath. So very
Yeah.
mental, parang since parang iba pala yung meron palang nangyayari sa'yo doon. I'll pursue it some other way or another path. So I'll break my oath with you.
Yeah, see, this is like this. You can tell from homebrew. I don't want to make comparisons because you can still make great characters in Adventures League. But homebrew, diba? It took a few minutes for us to talk about one character from one of our homebrews. What motivations does he have? Where does he get? Alam mo yun, parang there's so much intrigue and so much so much that we want to know about one character, and then there are like 5 others na parang what motivates them, how are they they going to play out.
Backstory is very important. Sa inyo lahat, si Luke din kasi yung pinaka-active mag-send ng backstory.
Yeah, there are paragraphs of one paragraphs of paragraphs.
So that makes sense for him to be able to explore, like he does that legwork for the story. That makes it easier for me. Like maraming characters, like for example Matrim, that doesn't really have that level of backstory. He's there for the story. Alam mo yan, parang he's there at present, na parang he's just a tangent, is just there. But in terms of backstory, wala pang nabigay si Jean in terms of like what do I do with this? Well, like I'm not sure. Not sure what do I do with it.
I gotten a lot of backstory from them for my homebrew. And alam mo yun, there are so many threads that I can connect. Pero basically, and this is something that I'm getting off of another show. I can't remember kung sinong quote. It's like handing the dungeon master baseball bat and allowing him to put spikes around it so he can hit you with it.
Yeah.
Pero yeah,
Okay
it's if you give it's just cool. It's a good if you give DM your story, diba? It's something that they can work with. If you've like worked on this story a lot, it's much easier to it's much easier to alam mo yun, parang work around that. Give the DM story beats for your specific character, and that's something that I plan for my homebrew.
Yeah.
Have each one of you have a specific quest for each, right? Pero if you give them a very simple state, that's the DM can go ham with that.
Oh yeah.
You have relatively good family with very simple lives. Guess whose village is being burned down by goblins next week. So parang parang it's a tool for DMs to be evil or be good, I guess.
Yeah. And yeah, it makes it then kasi a lot more personal. But of course, parang I'll only take it as far as the players will allow. Like kung wala talaga, then we'll see. We'll just hindi naman that I don't need it, pero parang there are ways for us to move the story along. Alam mo yan, without really diving into kung hindi
you
siya,
don't have to shake.
Hindi siya backstory heavy na character. That's fine. We can still have a story and still have fun with the game. So it's fine.
Yeah, don't have to shake things up. Oh no, always naman. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So, I figured out my favorite DM moment.
What?
For this year, and in a way, parang it's what gotten me through now that I think about it. Remember that time when you spoke with animals twice in one episode?
Yeah. That's always fun.
Yeah, that's probably my favorite DMD moment as a DM, mostly because it's a realization for me na parang it doesn't always have to be serious, nor does it have to be epic. Alam mo yun? Sometimes moments in D&D can be just really light and funny, di ba? So parang, and admittedly, now that I think about it, it's what helped me through the year. Humor. You just be able to goof around with my friends and making other people laugh. I mean, enjoy the time that they spend with each other. Yeah. I have a video of that, guys. It's link it below.
It's there.
Yeah.
It's funny.
Yeah. We should definitely do more of those. na parang how to speak with animals.
Creative uses of spells.
Yeah.
Underused
Actually,
spells.
yeah. Yeah. Because
Speak with
fireball is
plants.
speak with yeah, ang pinaka-notable niyan si Henry Crabgrass eh. Pero hey, whatever. Anyway, so yeah,
Lava. Yeah.
I guess before we let's wrap this up a little in a little bit in a bit. I guess what I want to ask you right now, Fonzie, is for tabletop titos and for short rest, what are you looking forward to for 2021?
Well, more guests for short rests.
I guess definitely.
And also maybe yeah, just that. More guests, more content, and yeah, just a fun time, relaxed time without any pressure.
No pressure. Yeah,
Just
we that this 20 episodes is proof that we don't require any sort of pressure so long as we like what we're doing.
Mhm.
How about for tabletop titos?
Yeah, more games, more live
Definitely.
streams,
More
and
games
more
and live
content.
streams.
Yeah, live streams maybe, and maybe our YouTube, get that working. But yeah,
Yeah.
I'm liking where we are now. Maybe there are a few things that we can like tap into resource persons maybe and have them do like tutorials and stuff like that, and interviews that would be interesting, interviewing writers and creators
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
And some for tabletop titos, yeah, definitely. Lot of resource speakers that are separate from the short rests.
Yeah, and better
Like, team
microphones
dapat.
for our players also.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm forward to. Guys, if you want to sponsor microphones for for
Yeah, better
diba?
mics like
Yeah,
that,
better mics
or at least
And-
a workable headset.
and cameras as well. Yeah, if only someone could sponsor time.
Just may mga trabaho na rin sila pag hindi sila bumili. Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a worthy investment, I think. Like we can use that for other things.
Yeah.
Like
How mhm.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. I'm looking forward for short rest. Yeah, definitely more guests. And I'm looking rin for I'm looking towards definitely more episodes. And alam mo yun, again, it's about building a habit for me. This podcast is proof that building a habit is possible and being regular with it. Except of course in circumstances na parang life or death, or alam mo yun, nagkasakit ka, di ba? Or you're generally hindi lang magkasundo yung schedule. Definitely. So I'm looking forward to next year. Definitely more episodes. In terms naman of for tabletop titos, I planned something. I'm still writing it. Pero you guys will see. Maybe next year, or maybe baka ako na lang mag-shoot mag-isa because the titos are busy this holiday. Pero yeah, I'll get approval muna from Fonzie kung pwede ko siyang, pero ipapublish ko siya sa tabletop titos.
Go ahead. You don't need my approval.
Yeah.
Just go ahead.
You're the top tito, man.
No, I'm not.
kami mga kami
Just post what you want. Just
it's okay. Yeah, I'll post all the memes. Anyway, yeah, definitely lots more content for tabletop titos. A friend of mine asked if we will be hosting epics. Quick answer for next year, no. I don't think so. How about you?
we can.
We can. Okay.
Yeah, let's not
Okay,
shut the door on that.
Okay. I just said that I'm not confident with my capability, pero with the Tito's capability, we definitely can.
Easy.
So
That's easy.
sige, just tell me what to do, Fonzie. I'll do it. I don't know how to host epics.
That's something we can do for 2021. Let's hope. Let's host
we
the
can.
epic. Let's make that
let's
our
host one.
like a milestone, like mid-year.
Yeah, for next year, a goal. Yeah, we'll definitely do that. And siguro host a little for for Tabletop Tito, besides an epic, it's really just put on more videos that aren't necessarily our home streams, because our streams are games. Like our games will always be there. Pero again, more video content ideas. How-tos mostly because Titos like to teach. And definitely more other content related to Dungeons and Dragons. Actually, kahit lore videos, those will definitely be something up for Tabletop Titos. Pero the one that I'm making right now, surprise yun, kasi mostly because I still need to work on it. But yeah, that's really about it.
Yeah, that's definitely something that we can do. Yeah, lore videos. Why not?
Diba? Kasi it's fun to have an online presence, and with this capability that we have right now. Right? Yeah.
Sure. Go ahead. Let's do it.
Okay. All right. Fonzi, let's do it after this holiday season is over. Fonzi, where can they find you, man?
You can find me on Instagram, on FonziToot, and also Twitter, FonziToot, and also our Facebook page, Tabletop Titos, like that. We have a Facebook page also for my coaching at Activate Leadership, so check that out. Short break also for Activate Leadership in terms of podcasts. Haven't come up with an episode. We'll continue very soon. But yeah, follow us on YouTube, guys. Look for Tabletop Titos. We're the only ones there. And look for subscribe, please. We need more subscribers there. And yeah, we hope to kick off the new year with new stuff.
Yeah.
How about you, Carlo?
If you're watching this off of YouTube, chances are you've seen our YouTube channel. Please like and subscribe, hit the bell icon so you're notified of new Dungeons and Dragons and Cyberpunk 2077 content. I'm not gonna stress that further. And you can find me at carlogeeksout.com and Carlo Geeks Out, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. As Fonzi mentioned, you can also find us in Tabletop Titos. You can find all sorts of funny memes there and content. Hopefully you can like and share and tell your friends. It's funny. Anyway, we're going to go on a little holiday break, guys. So I hope you understand that for next week we might not have an episode up. Luke, Nico, just calm down. With episode soon. You're our top fans. We love you, and we'll see you next year. Bye, guys.
Have a new year. Have a Merry Christmas. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
A short rest with Fonzi and Carlo.